the spark in the void. They came in peace. At least, that's what they claimed. The ships hung motionless beyond Europa's orbit, a crescent-shaped wall of alien alloy and arrogance. Gold-hulled cruisers with glowing spines and symbols older than Earth's pyramids formed the forward guard of the Galactic Alliance's peacekeeping envoy. Behind them lurked dreadnoughts, bristling with plasma batteries and gravlance arrays, silent threats veiled in protocol. Admiral James Everett stood on the bridge of the TSV Dauntless, arms behind his back, eyes narrowed on the tactical display. He'd seen enough of the galaxy to know a loaded gun when it was pointed at his home. "They're not here to negotiate," he said, voice low but sharp. "This is a pressure tactic. The Alliance doesn't believe Earth deserves the stars. They want us to blink." His operations officer, Commander Liat Chun, glanced up. "Orders, sir." Everett's reply was calm and immediate. "Bring Fleet Group 7 to high readiness. All ships to silent formation Delta. If they fire, we respond." Humanity had discovered faster-than-light travel barely 2 decades earlier. Their technology was crude by galactic standards, at least on the surface. But no species in the Alliance understood the depths of Earth's learning curve, nor the kind of resilience born from centuries of conflict, reinvention, and chaos. 3 hours later, the first shot came. It started near Europa, just a minor mining outpost, home to 15,000 civilians. A stray fighter from the Alliance's escort veered off, then fired a pulse round directly into a civilian transport dock. The ship exploded. Thousands died. They called it a misfire. Everett didn't buy it. Neither did Earth. The Dauntless led the counteraction. Not a full assault, just enough to push the Alliance back from the Jovian moons. Everett deployed stealth drones armed with ECM pulses, blinding enemy targeting arrays. He ordered railgun ships to use Saturn's rings for cover, masking their trajectories. The result was chaos. 3 Alliance vessels disabled. 2 more limped away with massive hull breaches. Humanity hadn't just fought back. They'd outmaneuvered ships centuries more advanced. The Alliance, stunned and humiliated, retreated beyond Pluto's orbit, leaving behind wreckage and propaganda. The next morning, Earth broadcast the entire engagement across known space. A silent message encoded in every frame. "We are not afraid." Back in the war room, Everett reviewed the casualty reports with a grim face. "They tested our resolve. Now they know. Do you think they'll return?" Chen asked. "They will," he said. "But next time, they won't pretend it's diplomacy." He stared at the star map glowing above the table. Earth at the center, a dozen alien empires watching from the void. "We've woken the galaxy, Commander," he said. "Let's make sure they remember who we are." The Admiral's gambit. The enemy came in waves. Sensors flared across the outer colonies as the Galactic Alliance's superfleet swept into the sector. Over 2,000 ships under the command of High Strategos Velek of the Zerani Empire. It was no longer a political message. This was annihilation. On the bridge of the TSV Dauntless, Admiral James Everett stood unmoving as red threat icons multiplied across the star map. Multiple dreadnought signatures. "Carrier groups forming up along the Sigma corridor," reported Commander Chun, her voice tight. "They're moving fast. No attempt at communication." Everett exhaled slowly. As expected, most of Earth's admirals would have braced for a direct engagement. But Everett knew better. The Dauntless wasn't alone, but it wasn't going to fight conventionally either. The Terran fleet was smaller, but it was mobile, precise, and, most importantly, unpredictable. He tapped the console, bringing up the fleet deployment grid. Phase 1. Execute Operation Foxglove. All squadrons to jump positions. I want ghost cells in 6 systems by the hour. "Sir," Chun said carefully, "you're splitting the fleet?" "I'm spreading the infection," Ever corrected. "Let them chase phantoms. They think this is about soul. It's not. It's about showing them that no world is safe from us now." The Terran defense armada scattered like smoke across the stars. Using microfold FTL tech, Earth's ships struck without warning. Pirate-style raids on fuel depots, stealth torpedoes detonating inside shield generators, kinetic rods dropped from orbit onto unguarded supply chains. In less than a week, the Alliance lost communications in 7 sectors. Entire flanks of their fleet went dark. Panic set in. High Strategos Velek responded by tightening formation and pushing toward Earth. That's exactly what Everett wanted. In the Corn Expanse, where gravitational anomalies made standard FDL risky, Everett laid his trap. He positioned decoy satellites broadcasting Terran fleet signals, then baited the Alliance with a single corvette. When the Alliance's third armada chased it into the nebula, they passed through a gravity net, an artificial field distortion laid by Earth's engineers, hidden in the Expanse's natural interference. 6 capital ships vanished into an invisible sinkhole. The rest scattered. Back aboard the Dauntless, Everett monitored the chaos unfold in real time. "Status?" he asked. "Enemy fleet has fractured. 2/3 of their forces chasing ghost squadrons. Their main line stalled in the belt," Chin reported. Everett nodded. "They brought numbers. We brought a playbook they've never seen." On alien channels, a name began to circulate among the Alliance commanders, the Ghost Admiral. An officer who struck from shadows, predicted their moves, vanished before they could counter. A Terran phantom. But Everett wasn't interested in titles. He watched the galaxy's old warlords flail, weighed down by pride and ancient doctrine, and whispered to himself, "Let them play checkers. We're already playing chess." Shadows of resistance. The message came through a fractured encryption relay, buried in a cascade of static and old trade code. "We are the Zarii. We no longer serve the Alliance. We offer intelligence, not allegiance. Respond, or not. We'll understand." Admiral Everett stared at the projection, expression unreadable. The Zarii, a reptilian species long used as cannon fodder and manual labor by the Galactic Alliance, had never spoken freely, certainly never directly, to a Terran admiral. Commander Chun looked skeptical. "It could be a trap." "It could," Everett agreed. "But desperate slaves don't lie like empires do." The Zarii offered precise data. Coordinates to an Alliance shipyard in the Arik Velis system, lightly defended, housing construction blueprints, prototype cruisers, and fuel cells. A high-value target. Taking it would cripple the enemy's logistics. Everett gave the order. Within days, the Dauntless led a coordinated strike alongside Zarii defectors. Terran stealth frigates disabled the orbital comms grid, while infiltration pods embedded themselves within the shipyard's infrastructure. It took 6 minutes. By the 7th, Earth's flag flew over the Arik Velis dry dock. Dozens of half-complete alien warships now belonged to the Terran Defense Armada. But victory came at a price. On the same day, a human outpost on Arcadia Prime was ambushed. Over 2,000 dead, civilians, engineers, and families. The Alliance had retaliated. Worse, the Alliance broadcast footage of the aftermath, framing Everett's aggression as the trigger for the massacre. On Earth, political factions erupted in outrage. News feeds flashed with images of burning habitats and grieving survivors. "Is this the price of pride?" One headline asked. "Is Everett leading us to glory or destruction?" In the Dauntless command chamber, Everett stood silent as his staff watched the footage. He saw the flicker of doubt in some of their eyes. Even Chin's voice was tight. "They're turning our people against us," she said. "They're afraid," Everett replied. "They should be. But we don't stop now. We don't hesitate." He walked to the bridge, cameras rolling, and delivered a message broadcast across Earth and every colony. "To those who blame us for fighting back, you think surrender spares lives? Ask Arcadia. The Alliance kills because we exist. They want obedience, not peace. Let them call us reckless. Let them fear us. If they think Earth will kneel, they've forgotten what it means to stand alone." His words ignited the colonies. Volunteers surged into recruitment centers. Civilian industry shifted to wartime production. From shipyards on Mars to the orbital foundries of Titan, Earth became a forge of defiance. The next week, Everett's engineers unveiled 3 warships built with hybrid Terran Zarii tech. Gravitic torpedoes, stealth plating, and neural interface targeting systems far beyond anything the Alliance used. In the void, Fear grew. No longer was humanity just a rogue planet. It was an emerging power, led by a strategist whose mind was as lethal as any weapon. And deep in the dark, the old empires began to ask themselves, what happens if we can't stop them? The day the stars burned. The final assault came without pretense. 2,000 enemy ships surged into the Sol system, their formation tight, weapons primed. The Alliance High Command believed Earth would crumble under overwhelming force. They had gathered the remnants of 5 empires, fueled by desperation and fear of humanity's rise. Admiral Everett had been waiting. From his command chair aboard the TSV Dauntless, orbiting Saturn, he studied the real-time battle map. Red markers filled the void like blood in water. They took the bait, Chin confirmed. Full push through Neptune's corridor. Minimal scouting. Everett nodded. Good. Initiate final protocol, Leviathan. Earth's fleet had not gathered in one place. It had spread thin across the stars, hit and vanished, struck from the dark. But now it returned, all of it, from behind moons, inside gas clouds, and cloaked within old mining rigs. Terran warships emerged. Railgun cruisers, stealth destroyers, drone swarms, and the latest hybrid battleships formed a three-dimensional trap around the enemy's advance. Then came the hammer. Titan's crust ruptured as Project Leviathan awakened, an experimental orbital rail cannon the size of a city buried beneath the ice moon. It fired once every 30 seconds, each round a skyscraper-sized slug traveling at half the speed of light. The first shot tore through an Alliance dreadnought like paper. Panic rippled through their command structure. But it was too late. Humanity's fleet moved with terrifying coordination. Strike pods disabled capital ship engines. Drones swarmed support cruisers. Gravitic torpedoes collapsed shields and shattered formations. Everett guided it all like a conductor. Each maneuver precise, each sacrifice measured. Behind the main line, Zarii defectors struck at Alliance logistics from within. Sabotage turned their own carriers against them. 1/3 of the enemy fleet lost power mid-engagement. The sky burned. Yet Everett showed restraint. As the enemy flagship, the Imperial Glory, attempted retreat, the Dauntless intercepted it, disabling its engines but sparing the crew. Everett opened a channel, his face grim but resolute. We will not conquer, but we will never kneel. This war ends now, or the stars will forget your names. Silence. Then the reply. A single word from the Alliance commander. Understood. The war was over. In the weeks that followed, the Galactic Alliance fractured. Some empires collapsed entirely. Others sued for peace. Earth did not demand territory or tribute. Instead, it claimed a seat on the new Galactic Council, forged in the aftermath, not as a junior race, but as an equal. Admiral Everett stood once more on the bridge of the Dauntless, watching Sol's twin suns rise over Earth's edge. Commander Chin approached. They still call you the Ghost Admiral. He smiled faintly. Good. Let the name haunt them. He turned back to the stars, the fleet sailing behind him like a steel armada of legends. Let them fear us, he said. Let that fear keep peace. And with that, Earth's flag flew not as a symbol of defiance, but of dominance earned.